Before you scroll on, I just want you to have a little listen. A lot of you know that I'm all about like helping people out, and I find myself studying a lot of psychology, a lot of philosophy, religion, and I want to set up a YouTube series which is catered to help you out, whether it is with your mental health needs or maybe talking about topics that you've never considered before, maybe some fun things. If you feel like you're someone in need of some help and you don't feel like um, anyone's reaching out to you, or you're not finding the help that you need, or you just don't know what to do, you can listen to some of my videos that I have to offer. I'm not qualified. I can only tell you what I've learned from my life and what I've experienced. I guess the main reason for the series is to bring awareness to you that, you know, there is hope. And I definitely want to help those people in need. So if you feel like you're someone who needs something, even if you don't know what it is, you might want to give these videos a listen. Or whether or not you're a more of a bigger picture sort of person. I'm someone who has a lot of an emotional knowledge, emotional understanding, and emotional intelligence. I also have a passion for philosophy, and I bring these two things together. And the things that I've found, at least, have been extremely surprising in my life. And I do want to share these things because I think it could benefit you a lot. So if you're interested in just general needs, emotional support or mental support, or just trying to figure out this thing called life like everyone is, I'd invite you to join me. I invite you to join the conversation, because I don't want this to be something that I just say on camera. I want this to be an actual conversation. Like, if you have questions, please ask. I'm always open. I'm always open to do suggestions, and I look forward to hearing from people's responses and what they think. Some things that I say you may agree with, some things you may not agree with, and I really, really want to hear that, and I want to hear why, and I want to hear, you know, what you have to say, because what you have to say is important. It's important to me, and it's important to say it. I just want to start off, I guess, just telling you a little bit about myself. I'm someone who has experienced a lot of things in their life. I've experienced a Great Depression. I can't even tell you how many times I have tried to end my life. I come from a place of extreme anxiety. I used to be scared to walk out my front door. I used to be scared to walk out my room even. You know, I come from a place where I've been completely isolated. I've come from a place where I even gone mute a few times in my life. Yeah, to the point where I just couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. And you know, I've come from a place of quite a lot of traumas, and at the time they're scary, they're horrible, they are sad, and I'm really grateful for my life because of those things. I'm really grateful that I had those things, because it has made me a much, much stronger person today. A lot of the things that I have to talk about in this series are things that I wouldn't have been able to talk about if I didn't go through these experiences. I've managed to change my life around completely from where I was, and it has only been since these last few weeks that I could say, you know what, depression is no longer a thing which holds me back anymore, but lifts me up. And I have God to thank for that. Absolutely. I've, I've come from a place where I was so scared to just be out on the streets. I've feared my life before. I've been homeless before. And later on I'm gonna talk about these sorts of things. But for now, I just want to say that these things, they seem hard at the time, and they are hard. You get consumed in the way that you feel, you get consumed in your mind, you get trapped there, and you just don't know how to get out. And it's a horrible place to be. I really feel anybody who's in that position right now. But I want you to try to look at it from a different perspective today. I need you to understand that the things that you're going through, there's a lot of advantage that you can take from it. So for me as a person, I am very intuitive with my feelings. It is part of my personality that I just know how people feel, and it's a blessing from God that I can a lot of the times know what people are thinking and how to solve the issue right up hand. Going through depression suppressed my emotions, they suppressed that intuitive, it made me doubt that side of me. So it made me use my mind more. And so instead of being naturally intuitive and relying on this way of living, I now have to rely on my mind, because your emotions shut off when you get depressed. Okay, the deeper the depression is, the more your body just starts shutting down, and the more your mind has to now cope with it, which is a good thing, because a lot like when you exercise your physical muscles, you can also exercise your mind, and it gets your mind stronger. And this is what the depression does. It makes your mind stronger because it's having to work harder, because your emotions are now shut down. So without me going through those trials that I had, I couldn't become stronger. And I'm so grateful. I'm really, really undeniably grateful, and I cannot stress to you how much I'm grateful for those experiences. My natural self is quite a judgmental self, and what that means is, it doesn't mean that I go around just judging people. What it means is I have a really big desire to close the book on things. I want to get down to the truth, and I wanna be able to be like, right, I've done it, I've closed it, that's good. I know exactly what that's about. That's what a judgmental personality is about. But by exercising my mind and not having to rely on my intuition anymore, I've become more open as a person, and I've become more critical. I've really expanded how much I can perceive and how much I can do because of the trials that I went through. God always makes a way for you to be able to come back from wherever you're at. Otherwise, there'll be no such thing as a heaven. A lot of people think you just sort of go to heaven and everything will be fine. That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. A lot of people are so quick to dismiss good things because they're going through a hard time. A lot of it is about what you choose to focus on. That's not to say that you should be denial of bad things. No, you have to recognize that they're there. If you don't recognize that they're there, you can't problem solve it, right? And the whole issue that you're having is that you can't problem solve your demons effectively, right? You've got something in your life right now which is tormental, and you don't know what to do. You can't fathom it. You can't fathom the solution. So if you deny that existence, you'll never ever be able to cure the problem. So it's really important that you recognize what's going on, right? It's so important. At the same time, you have to focus on what you do have rather than what you don't have. Okay? Start looking for things that you can see that are there and not looking at things that aren't there. Okay? Because in the meantime, while you're trying to problem solve this, and it might take a long time for you to problem solve it, in the meantime, you have to be able to keep sane. So if you're focusing on how much this is destroying your life, you're not going to keep sane, because it's going to be in your mind all the time. You need to investigate your demons. Investigate, like a lot like a detective. And a detective, they will have time off. Yeah, they'll have time off work. Some people really passionately go at it, and you know, they get themselves into trouble. Much like how a detective had to come up with ways in order to cope with their job, and how negative it can be, and how, you know, distressing it can be. In the same way that you have to work with your mind, or you have somebody around you which can do the detective work for you to be able to figure out this thing called life. Yeah, it's about being optimistic rather than pessimistic. Optimistic is full of hope, and hope is a good thing to focus on, because a lot of our soul is generated from this thing called hope. I am someone who specializes in getting rid of people's demons for them. That is my whole life mission. You know, that is what I want to do. And it's just, you know, every day, every single day, you know, 80% of my time that I'm thinking about something, that's what I'm thinking about. You know, I'm thinking about being able to create a more harmonic environment for people, you know, for people where they can live and thrive in. And so that is why I'm making this series, so that I can help people do that. And I hope that you've learned something from this today. And I'm going to put up more of these things in the future. But for now, that's all I'm going to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you feel like anyone might benefit from what I've said already, don't be afraid to share it out there, or let them know that these videos might be able to help. Do what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep updated with the sort of things that I come up with the sort of videos that I post. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say.